Hey, welcome to iGuide Movies. I am Timothy Guy, and I am joined, as always, by my partner in crime, Miss Stephanie Holland.
Hello.
So we have a big week. We're gonna go different from normal, and we're gonna talk about the DVD that was released this week first.
Well, yeah, because obviously it's a movie we're sort of familiar with.
Yeah, might have seen it a few times.
A few. We might have sat in the theater for like 13 hours waiting to see it. We're talking, of course, about the Avengers, biggest movie of the year. It's like the third biggest movie of all time.
Yep.
We loved it. Tim's seen it 5 times.
5 times.
I've seen it 4 times. We both have already waiting for our DVDs to arrive. We're fans.
Yeah. So I don't know what else we can say about it. Check my blog because I'm gonna break down where you can buy it. What special features, because like Best Buy always has something special, and Target always has something special. So go to my blog and I'll break it down so you know exactly which one you want to buy.
Yeah. So
let's get to the movies that are playing this week. So we're going to start with a kids movie per se. It's called Hotel Transylvania.
It's an animated sort of CGI animation.
It's about Dracula owns this hotel, and it's not like regular humans don't know about it, but all the monsters like Frankenstein and the Mummy, they go to relax there. But then a human finds the place and all chaos ensues.
Star-studded voice cast. Adam Sandler's the voice of Dracula. Selena Gomez is his daughter. Andy Samberg's in it. CeeLo.
Kevin James, Fran Drescher, Steve Buscemi, Molly Shannon, David Spade, Chris Purnell, and John Lovitz. And it's just not the people that are, I don't want to say in front of the camera, but providing voices, but we have Mark Mothersbaugh, who does the music. Of course, Devo, we all know Devo.
Sure.
I'm going to mess his name up, and I apologize ahead of time. Gedney Tartakovsky directs. He's the one who did Samurai Jack.
Oh, that animation on that show is awesome.
Yeah, Dexter's Laboratory. He did a couple of the Star Wars, the Clone Wars. And the people who wrote it, Robert Smigel, of course, Triumph the Insult Comic Doug.
Yeah.
And this threw me for a loop. Peter Bainham, who wrote Borat.
That's odd, but
makes perfect sense for a kids movie.
But it's an original premise, and it's done by Sony Animation, who are sort of, they've done some pretty good movies and animated movies in the past. They're not Disney or Pixar, but they've had their share of hits. They were the ones who I think worked on Shrek in the beginning, right?
I think so, yeah.
So. It'd be fun sort of counter programming because there's not really any sort of
this is gonna make tons of money.
Family kid movies out there right now, so.
And I think it's not just kid friendly. I think people like us, like adults that are just looking for a fun movie, will go see it. So it has a wider appeal than just a regular.
Finding
kids movie.
Nemo's out, but that's been out for so long. A lot of people have seen it. Something new would be good.
Well, if you're an adult looking for something fun, Looper comes out this week.
Right. Now, first off, we just want to say before we explain the plot, it's a time travel thriller. Anytime time travel's involved, you sort of have to turn your brain off and just go along with it.
Well, we had this giant flow chart, but it wouldn't fit in the studio. It was
so what happens is the mob, in the future, when the mob wants to kill somebody, they send them back in time where a hitman, in this case, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, is waiting to kill them. Like, he's just waiting in a field, and somebody just pops up in the middle of the field, and he kills them. So, but all of a sudden, for whatever reason, I'm sure we find this out in the course of the movie, the mob decides they want to close the loop. So they send back Bruce Willis, who is the older version of Joseph Gordon-Levitt. So then there becomes these sort of complications of what happens if he kills his older self. What if Bruce Willis kills Joseph Gordon-Levitt?
In my understanding of time travel, I don't know, Mike can jump in on this because we're nerds and we have an understanding of these things. Wouldn't it just make sense just to send someone back and kill the younger one and then the older one would never exist?
That's what I would do, yes.
You have a plan?
In my experience with time travel. But, that would make a very short movie. Emily Blunt's also in it, Paul Dano. So, Jeff Daniels. So it looks really interesting. The action looks good. I've seen Joseph Gordon-Levitt talking about how he did a lot of research on Bruce Willis to sort of play him. I guess he said he watched episodes of Moonlighting so he could get the young Bruce Willis down.
I know they do a lot of makeup for him to look more like Bruce Willis.
Yeah. And so that was sort of his research, was to watch old episodes of Moonlighting so he could sort of get the mannerisms of a young Bruce Willis. So I want to see it. I think it looks interesting. I'm going to say it's not a $10 see it. It's maybe like a
AMC.
It's like a
noon.
$6 see it. Yeah, for sure.
Well, the third movie, I don't know who the target audience, maybe just families, senior citizens perhaps.
Yeah.
It's called Won't Back Down. It stars Viola Davis, you could see her there, and Maggie Gyllenhaal. They play parents. Viola Davis plays a teacher. Their school's in trouble, and they decide to do this thing, what's called the parent trigger law. And what the parent trigger law does is, if enough parents get signatures, they can effectively tell the school district, this isn't working, we're going to overhaul everything from the beginning. So.
But is this the story of how that law became a law? Because they say it's sort of kind of based on a true story. Yeah. But again, another stellar cast in this movie as well. Like you said, Maggie Gyllenhaal, Viola Davis, Holly Hunter, Rosie Perez, Lance Reddick from Fringe. Ving Rhames, and then Marianne Jean-Baptiste. Now here's the thing. A lot of people get Viola Davis and Marianne Jean-Baptiste mixed up. So the fact that they're finally in a movie together proves they are two separate fantastic actresses, not the same person.
Unless they play twins.
But yeah, this movie, it looks interesting. It looks good. I don't know how well it's going to do up against this competition that it has because, you know, you've got Hotel Transylvania, you've got Looper, you got Finding Nemo and Resident Evil still out there. So I think it might get lost in that shuffle.
Okay, so if you could pick one movie for people to see this week, what should they see?
I'm guessing Hotel Transylvania is probably the pick. I mean, as much as I think Looper looks interesting, Hotel Transylvania is probably a safe bet because you know what you're getting going into that.
I agree.
So
we never agree. So this is a
so there
shining
you go.
moment.
Or just stay home and watch Avengers,
which we will be doing.
so there it is.
So we will see you next week. Plenty more movies. There's another big week of movies coming out next week.
All right.